All right, welcome to Esther 5. Are you ready to party?
Yes.
Now, I broke up this lesson in three sections in terms of questions on how we do it in education. The first level of question is just reading,
Comprehension.
not reading comprehension, but reading memory. Basically, what happened in this,
Okay.
how happened, who was there.
Yes.
The second is reading comprehension, which is what from the reading, what can we take away from that? From the reading, what were the characters feeling, even if they don't explicitly say it? And the third one is reading interpretation. How do we use it for ourselves? So how do we take that thing and apply it to the rest of our life? So a couple of the questions are going to feel easy, but the later questions are going to be more discussion based. So let's just first start. Anyone can raise their hand. In the chapter, Esther gets summoned by the king. He sees her, and she looks beautiful. And what does he do to summon her to his side? Go ahead,
He
Renee.
extends his scepter, and she come and touches the point of the scepter.
Exactly. With the golden scepter, he pointed out, and then you gotta go touch it. The not too different from kissing the ring, you see. They have more modern.
He's a king.
All right. So he summons Esther, and of course, Esther, the king goes, "Ah, oh, you're so beautiful today, baby. I'll give you half the kingdom if you want.
Yeah.
What do you want?" And what does she ask for?
That he attends her banquets.
That tend he attends the banquet, and
Haman.
that Haman also attends the banquet. So that he and Haman join her for a banquet. It's a little weird when you read it. She first says, "Let's join a banquet right now,"
Yeah.
and then let's do a banquet tomorrow. So it feels like, because when I read it, I thought I read it twice. I'm like, but no, it's not. All right. So you're Haman, some guy in the court of the king, and then the queen just said, "Hey, me and the king want you for a party, right?" So how's Haman feeling about this invite? Somebody else?
No.
Mom?
He thinks he's super special, better than all the other nobles.
Yo, he's excited, he's elated, he's geeked, he's yoked up, he knows, he feels powerful. But then Haman, he's walking out, and then through the gate, Mordecai's sitting there, and Mordecai don't stand up for Haman when he passes by. And how does he feel?
It was up.
Hey, this freaking guy!
Yeah.
He didn't
respect. He didn't respect.
He didn't stay. He got angry, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Mordecai take away his
Mordecai did not stand up, so he does. This freaking so don't matter. He gets home.
Yeah.
He gets home. He's partying with his family, and he's like, "Dang, I have all this land. I have all this money. I got this big family. You know what?" And his sister's like, "Yo, I got an idea for you. What's that idea? What's that idea?" Renee.
Oh, she suggested I get a very tall pole so that she can impel him off behind. No. Impel him.
Impel Mordecai.
Impel him.
Impel Mordecai.
No, the idea with impel, it wasn't. No, it came from all the
So he gets pole. I think it was 40 cubits. I don't know why I wrote 50.
Yeah.
But it was 50?
I thought so.
Okay, so it was 50 cubits high. If you want to know, cubit in ancient time is forearm to finger. Yeah, so a foot and a half. Keep in mind, in ancient time, it was very hard to standardize.
Yeah.
So sometimes it could be up to 21 inches. So most of the time,
Depending on the person's forearm.
basically of the worker's forearm, what it is, right? So then if you had a small forearm, maybe it'd be your job. But either way, 50 cubits high. So you're talking about a pole, which is, if it's 1.5 feet each, 75 feet tall, taller than it's probably as big as the apartment building here in Downton Lakes, I think.
Yes.
So you're talking about something like that. They say, "Why do we get a pole?" I don't know, 75 feet tall. It's tall, bigger than any building around. And impale Mordecai onto it, right?
Well, explain to the audience why impel. Some people don't know what it is.
You ever use a stapler? It's kind of like you just put it in. That's how it is. They're gonna put the stick on them. All right. So that's what we call reading.
Comprehension.
No, it's reading like I don't know, I forgot the word, I'm sorry. So yeah, reading recollection, which is we read something, we remembered it. Now, this is reading comprehension. Do we comprehend what's happening here? So I just gave you a rundown of the chapter. So even if you didn't read it, please try to answer. Using previous chapters, what shows that Esther request requires bravery? Why is Esther asking the king and Hamas for a party actually a scary thing to do? Actually, a scary thing to do. Eric, you have any idea why it's scary for her? What about you, Tanya? Jonathan? Why is it scary for Esther to? Why would it cause nervousness for Esther?
It died.
Because you're asking the king of something.
You're asking the king
Just
something,
asking anything is.
but we have evidence from this book that shows something that if you ask the wrong thing, you might get in trouble. Nina, you had it? What do you mean? Who died?
Yeah, Esther.
Esther didn't
No,
die.
the previous queen.
You could die.
The previous queen,
She gets exiled.
she gets because she didn't listen to her
The
king. Talk about like a bad day, right? You go and you didn't listen to your husband once. He kicks you out into outside the kingdom to who knows where, and then makes it law. Wives got to listen to their husbands.
Because in those days you couldn't go and see the king without being summoned, being your wife only one. He
If I-
summons you, you go.
Yeah, and to that too, we learned in another book of Nehemiah, if you make the king sad with whatever you said, you're in big trouble.
It might kill you.
Yeah. So look, it's scary to talk. Some people get worried talking to their bosses. Some people get worried talking to their spouses. Some people get worried about talking to anybody. Maybe some people get worried about talking to the fast food worker. So the thing is, people here, we get nervous at talking on simple things. And yet we have Esther here with full on bravery trying to ask the king for something.
Teacher, also we have to remember the setting. Her nationality is Jewish.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If she's find out, and already the decree have been put out, okay, so
Yeah.
she will be killed too.
The stakes are high, right?
Yes, very.
And I'm saying people will get nervous for low stake questions, you know? All right. What of Hamas history, from we know from previous chapters, makes them hate Mordecai so much? Because the guy didn't stand up next to him when he walked past, but there's something deep with it. What is it in that?
Well, if we go all the way back to the Israelite time, that the tribe of Mordecai refused to help the Israelites, and the Israelites cursed them.
Yes.
And they suffer a lamb because of that. He carried that hate and they pass it from generation to generation.
Hamas' anger in this chapter, it seems a little out of place, right? Especially right after you get invited by the queen and king, you're elated. And then this guy standing up, not standing up for you or not giving you the respect, it's like ruins your day. It's something like beyond, right? Because it's the same thing. What if you got a raise and then the next thing you know, you scuffed your shoe? You're like, that ruins your day? That doesn't make sense. It doesn't have the same level. But here we have a deep history on the situation from generations. The people that Haman belonged to hates the people that Mordecai belonged to. And what makes it ironic about Haman celebrating to the invite of the queen? Why is it like, that's funny that he's celebrating? Any guess, Eric? What- What's ironic about it?
Ironic that Hamas celebrated an invite to. I don't have, honestly.
What is irony? Do you know?
Yeah, irony is like something's like ironic.
What does that mean, though?
It's
Yeah,
just-
yeah.
You gotta hit me with something.
I don't.
It's like you expected something, but it goes the complete opposite. So in this case, what is Haman expecting?
Expecting to be, for it to be happy, for them to be happy,
Yeah, to be honored, to be happy, right?
but it went the wrong way.
It's gonna go the wrong way.
Yeah, but
exactly.
we don't know that until the next.
But we know that Esther has a plan because of the previous chapters. But we see the result in the next chapter, yes. Okay, now the third, reading interpretation. How does it matter to me? Okay, why is he questioning? Why is this occurring, right? First off, as I mentioned earlier, people have trouble talking to other ones. Apparently, the new generation, they have trouble even picking up the phone to make a call. They have to hype themselves up, and they have an anxious anxiety to ask for something. My students in school, on the first day, I say, very clear. there's nothing wrong by not knowing something. Please ask a question. And that is a learned skill to ask questions. Even though by logic it makes sense. Oh, the guy's literally paid to teach you. Why don't you ask him a question? That's not how we feel. We have a sense of pride that we feel embarrassed to ask a question, or it might be awkward. Even selling tickets, I gotta ask a friend, "Hey, man, I know you just got married. I need $200 for you to come to a party." And he's like, "Do I really have to come, or can I give you some money?" You can just give me the money.
You know, people are scared to ask a dumb question too.
Well,
Or to be laughed at.
yeah.
Because some people, smart people are not afraid to ask questions because they are smart. They already know
Mhm.
they question are above, let's say, the average.
But that's what I mean, though. It's this courage to ask something. To ask the king who briefly exiled his wife because she didn't recall summons. That's a lot of pressure. All right. And then we have Haman here partying up. He's going, I got an invite to the queen. I don't know about you. If the principal invites me to the office, I'm an optimistic guy, but even then I'm like, something's up, right?
Usually not good.
Yeah, you're not gonna be happy when the boss calls you up.
But one time it just was a banquet.
It was a banquet.
Celebration.
It was a banquet.
So she was
But
saying the,
look, he was so excited. He didn't have any thought about it going wrong. Like,
yeah,
even if you're called to your boss, right? It's like, hey, let's have some lunch. Your boss calls you to have lunch, right? Even then, there might be a little conversation that's forced to happen, right? The boss is calling you for lunch for maybe a reason. We don't have any evidence that Esther hangs out with Haman. So Haman is just like, wow, she picked me? But I never met the chick. All right.
But she knew that he was the most powerful man after the king.
There you go.
Yeah,
So that's it.
so everyone knows the most powerful guy. He was like the vizier.
Yes, that's true. So yeah, so he's overconfident in that sense, and we got to be careful to be overconfident. Things we have to do, even though we're excited for future plans, we got to make sure we follow up with it. A lot of times, I'm very guilty of this. I talk to a contractor. Hey, you going over Saturday? Saturday? Yeah, I will. Cool. I don't keep up until Saturday. Maybe I'll call him after Saturday over. Hey, did you go? No. You really want to? But you have to.
It is like that guy who tried to rebel against Putin. He didn't know he was terrorist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're like that. So you can't be overconfident. You cannot be overconfident. It will act to be foolish. Now again, Esther, it's a storybook style of a chapter. It's nice and easy to learn. But remember, there's different levels of analyzation. So whatever you're reading, whether it's Esther or other parts of the Bible, make sure you see how am I thinking about this? Not just remembering the facts of what happened, but what's happening behind the subtext and how does that affect me? Okay. I hope this, guys, was a good lesson for you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.